Почитувани медиуми, добар ден.
Distinguished media, good morning and welcome to the press conference of the Prime Ministers of North Macedonia, Dimitar Kovachevski, and the Prime Minister of Republic of Bulgaria, Kirill Petkov. You will have the opportunity to ask your questions and have these questions responded. Distinguished Prime Minister of Republic of Bulgaria, Kirill Petkov, distinguished ministers of the government of Republic of Bulgaria, distinguished ministers of the government of Republic of North Macedonia, distinguished representatives of the media, distinguished citizens of Republic of Bulgaria and Republic of North Macedonia. Allow me at the beginning to express my gratitude for the visit of my dear friend, the Prime Minister, Mr. Kirill Petkov. You're welcome here, and you can always feel that you are among friends. My first days as the Prime Minister of the Macedonian government have been started off by creating conditions for accelerated accession to the European Union. With the Prime Minister, Mr. Petkov, we have established common grounds for mutual respect of both countries. Both him and myself have the same commitment to create a better future for the citizens of North Macedonia and Republic of Bulgaria. This visit coincides with the 35th anniversary of the recognition of Republic of North Macedonia by its constitutional name. We are now opening a new window for cooperation that we expect is going to result in good neighboring relations. And North Macedonia and Bulgaria are close neighbors, and the Macedonian people and the Bulgarian people are very close neighbors. So we have agreed that we are now deciding on the dynamics of establishing a new future for our citizens. Today, with Prime Minister Petkov, we have agreed that Bulgaria accepts to use the short name North Macedonia, as well as with long and extended name North Macedonia. So it's not going to impede the use of the constitutional name of our country, and we are very pleased for that. Also, the Ministry of Exterior has also sent a note to the United Nations about the use of the extended name and the short name, which proves that they are both valid and there is no implication over the territorial integrity of Republic of Bulgaria as such. I have been following the speech of Mr. Petkov on one of our national television, and he wanted to use the extended name, Republic of North Macedonia. Today he doesn't have to concentrate on that. He can use the short name, North Macedonia, as it is established. The arrangement of these issues with this friendly approach is the first step forward in the new chapter. These steps are entailing trust about cooperation between the two countries and between our peoples. The second is to finalize our cross-border cooperation agreement until 2029, and the opening of the border crossing Kepalo, which will facilitate the flow of tourism and transport, as well as the flow of people between the two countries and development of the border region. On the 25th of January, we are going to hold a meeting of the two governments where we're going to establish other further steps for cooperation in other areas. We're going to set up working groups that will work on strengthening the cooperation and establishing a deeper trust and building relationships that would entail more prosperity for the future. These working groups will also convene and work on joint projects. The initiatives on the part of Mr. Petkov will be explained shortly. And by saying this, I would like to extend thanks to Mr. Petkov, because with the election of the government representatives and my own election, he has kept his promise that he will be the first visitor to North Macedonia. And I would like to also extend thanks to the delegation of the Vice President of the Bulgarian Parliament that have held meetings with their peers from North Macedonia. And I would like to give the floor now to Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Petkov. First of all, distinguished President of Republic of North Macedonia, my colleagues,
ще се измерва в днес и се радвам да мога спокойно да кажа Северна Македония. Едновременно с това искам да поздравя.
I would like to greet North Macedonia. I can say that we have the exact specifics, and we are going to go further to our work. We can work with exact results, and if we can give room for the citizens of both countries to conduct business, to travel freely, and the priorities of Corridor 8 will be given an attention. And I would also like to tell my friend, after our familiarization, that we are both committed that the speed that we have undertaken in this process should further develop. And our meeting is taking place after a long number of years, and the good news are that our next visit will be on the 25th of January, and each week one of the groups is going to meet in order to set up clear goals and results so that we can show our both sides that our good neighboring relation is measurable on the level of real results, realistic results, on the level of business opportunities, and allow the speed to travel to Skopje in the course of 20 minutes. I have question to Mr. Petkov. Are the answers for Bulgaria acceptable, what is disputable, and not to use the Macedonian language with a footnote. Thank you very much. I can say clearly that whatever we have accomplished today means that we have confirmed our viewpoints, and this is the agenda and the exact calendar for the set-up meetings. This is going to be the new constructive dialogue. We are going to put an emphasis on all the issues for a common dialogue and the building of the relationship between the two countries, and the working groups are going to emphasize the specific issues that we have to resolve mutually. But I can only say that I'm an optimist about our joint activities in the future, and you can see that the working groups are going to come frequently on all the meetings that have been arranged, and I expect that we will have good results very soon. The question for the Macedonian Prime Minister: are you ready to fulfill the conditions of Bulgaria for the negotiations for the EU accession to be held on the official languages of the countries without having to mention it, as well as re-establishing the work of the Commission on the historic issues? We have agreed with Kirill to set up working groups in several areas, in the area of infrastructure, economy, the business cooperation between the business communities, in the area of education and culture. And I can say that this also entails the Commission for Historical and Educational Issues. This Commission for Historical Education Issue has already planned agenda, and based on what they have completed so far and the time frame of their activities, they have to agree among themselves on the manner of what they have agreed based on the methodologies that I have established as historians as part of this commission. As for the use of the official languages, we are a country that has been recognized by the Republic of Bulgaria, and in our constitutional setup we have there's a mention of the Macedonian language. We have an agreement signed with the Republic of Bulgaria where the bilateral agreements regulate the way in which these agreements have been arranged, and our Macedonian language is part of the United Nations Charter, as well as the other multilateral institutions and organizations that we're a signee. And according to the advancement and the development of the work of the commissions, which represent bringing the citizens from both countries closer, that also implies a resolution for the issues that you have mentioned in the first part of your questions, and we will put them as a priority. And the second, on the secondary level, we are going to strengthen the cooperation between the citizens of the countries, which will incentivize us and give us enough ground to make the final step in reaching an agreement with Republic of Bulgaria, and finally starting off the accession negotiations with the European Union. Mr. Kovachevski, you have mentioned the working groups. Did you discuss that there should be another format for the work of the Commission or the Working Group on History. So if Prime Minister Petkov can respond that, and if you can only mention the language in which the working groups are going to discuss. Today we have predominantly discussed the establishment of the working groups in the area of infrastructure, economy, trade, innovation, and Euro integrations, as well as in the area of education and culture. We believe that these are areas that represent much more for the future of our citizens from all age groups, especially for the young people. These working groups were not established due to the fact that myself or Kirill have to assign tasks to anybody. And these working groups are not going to include only politicians, but there will be representatives from the respective sectors. That means that the university professor should exchange more intensively scientific achievements, and we expect that students from Republic of Bulgaria will come to Macedonia to listen to lectures, and vice versa. Our students going to Bulgaria to attend lectures. We have also discussed the work of the chambers of commerce, or not. They will be cooperating not only on the level of the ministries of economy, but on the level of industries, and set up meetings and find their partners and peers in Republic of Bulgaria. In that way, we're going to enhance the exchange of information, and I expect that Kirill is going to agree with me that we will have to enhance the cooperation in all these areas, and in the area of tourism as well. We expect to have a good dynamics in working on weekly basis, where the working groups themselves will be able to inform the citizens about their accomplishments and results. You can see that right now, today, we do not have representatives from the Commission on History. They have been working, as I mentioned, based on a methodology and corroborating certain facts that they have harmonized with them working methodology, and I believe that the members of the History Commission are going to inform us about what has been agreed mutually, and that will represent a bridge towards the future and not bring us back to the past. Thank you. I tend to agree with Dimitar that unlike the arrangements in the past, these bilateral meetings are an opportunity for all the commissions, including the Commission on History. They're going to pay more attention on the issues that bring us closer. As for the questions that have not been resolved, we will give an extended deadline for these issues to be settled in the future. But we will maintain our communication, and I would like to say clearly that in our agreement on good neighboring relations that we have signed, we have a very clear definition about the language and the language thesis, and also in the other documents that have been signed. And the question here primarily is the following, that Bulgaria has given the due respect, and we were the first country that has recognized Macedonia as an independent country. I can vouch for that and say this with confidence. We are supporting the identity clause and the use of all the languages that are listed in the Constitution. We have full respect for all these issues, and we will continue to discuss this issue duly. When we have set up the Historical Commission among the 5 commissions, the mutual benefit from the work of this commission was in favor of resolving questions that have not been resolved so far. And we will have common grounds for a good dialogue and a constructive meeting. This shows clearly how both sides have agreed that the good neighboring relations has now entailed a new definition, much better than the definition that was given so far. My question is to Mr. Petkov. Have you expressed to the Macedonian side the new process of rehabilitations after the process of communism for the citizens that were persecuted for their Bulgarian feelings and destroying of billboards and signs? Thank you. This was the opinion from the parliamentary forum. We have confirmed our standpoints, and we have both understand as prime ministers that the specific issues have to be resolved. We're going to work on these issues as part of our mutual work, but we will give a totally different perspective once they are placed in the context of the work of each and working group. Thank you. This is affirmative, but I have to emphasize why is it important for our countries to have good neighboring relations. We should build relationship and not focus on the issues that have not been resolved so far. But that's a completely different approach. Thank you so far. Mr. Petkov, I would like to give you a red Bulgarian apple and wish you success in your future work.